show us the edge. Yes. The chip on the shoulders, the fight and the passion that comes from within. Whoa. Try to win on every level. Yeah. Expectations high. Gotta show them you can fly. Play harder, better, smarter. Baby, put the league on notice. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah. Whoa, done seen the walk of shame enough. Wanna see the walk of winning, time to come up and bring out the apple. On every play, every possession. How bad you want it, love, do you want it all? This ain't a blood of love, built for something greater. Attacking all obstacles, coming for the ring, my precious. You got the juice, the will, the heart, the fire. Show 'em the proof, show 'em that it shall be done. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
How creative could you get with Zion?
Coach, pretty creative. Again, this is something that I think people have a really difficult time getting their mind around when they see him. Zion grew up a point guard, and he grew up with the ball in his hand. Yeah. He literally identifies the game by facing the basket and handling the ball. He's never been traditional as a big in any way, shape, or form, and yet because he's large, people want to make him a big. Yeah. He's really not that. So when people talk about, oh, who's going to play 5? I don't know, but you can call Zion a 6 if you want to. It doesn't matter. Zion has the ability to do whatever he needs to do as a basketball player. One of the challenges I think that has been thrown down to him by Corey Brewer and Aaron Miles and our staff is to shoot more of the shots that he's capable of shooting that he never seems to take. Zion can really shoot the ball. And I think we're looking at his offseason as an opportunity for him, and I know he approached it this way, to add some things to his game. But he has skill set and ability that people really don't get to see because he's so historically efficient in the paint. They don't get to see the rest of what he's capable of. So I don't know that you can really limit what he's capable of doing. And as long as everybody else, and Zion included, are about the things that they are right now, which is winning, I think we have a chance to unlock some really special things.
All right. Shout out to the fam, man. For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Postgame Report. Much love to the flock. Appreciate y'all on a Monday night stream. This is the reaction to Pelicans Media Day. We appreciate all the family members that tuned into the Media Day on PPR. Man, much love to you guys. Appreciate you. Please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, hit the sub button as well, and share the show on your social media feed. We up in this thing. Big Q, Lexxah, DC, Full House. You guys, much love. Appreciate it. All right, fam. So we start the broadcast off with David Griffin, Pelicans VP, talking about Zion Williamson, at the 5 position. Sounds like Lex. Sounds like what Lex was saying in the previous broadcast. David Griffin is definitely listening to Lexxah, man. That's what's going on as well. So let's start off. Let's start from that point. I know you guys took notes, and I don't want to jump in there. I want to hear you guys' thought processes on what you heard from the Pelicans Media Day. Let's start there with his thoughts on Zion Williamson. Lex, if you want to go, or DC, however you guys want to start it off.
I mean, really, did you want to go, DC?
No, I was about to say you go ahead. He stole your talking point, so I know you want to address that.
That's probably the most non-BS thing that Griff has ever said.
Hey, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Should we give him a round of applause for that, Lex?
Yeah, let's go on and do that because, that's probably the only one he's probably going to get.
Oh, that's right. You ain't lying.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, I'm serious.
But I'm glad that that's finally been brought out. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a difference when we talk about these things, but it's definitely different when the GM is coming out and saying that stuff. Or excuse me, well, yeah, he is the GM, GM part 1 / his other title. But we all get the picture. But and it's a difference when the coach comes out and says that. Like, just like what I was saying in the other stream, we need to start looking at Zion differently. We need to reconstruct how we look at him because we haven't been looking at him the correct way. A lot of people have not. And Griff literally just broke that down. You know what I'm saying? And it's like these things need to be said because the way Zion's being used is not fully like maximized like it should be. There's too much hiatus in the way that he's used, and it's not consistent. And because of the non-consistency in his usage, because everyone's like, oh, okay, they're looking at his girth. They're looking at that. And it's like, oh, yeah, you should be down at the 5. At 6'6"? No. No. Like you're not. Kevin Garnett said, like, you only have so many jumps. You are really pushing like Zion as far as the amount of jumps he's taken when you're talking about him guarding the 5 position. That's a lot of work down there, putting him under the basket. When everybody knows. And apparently, when I say everybody, because Griff, he knows. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody knows except probably Willie Green, which is really crazy because he's the coach. But everybody knows, like, when the ball's in Zion's hands and he's getting downhill, he's coming from the wing, he's coming from top of the key, that's when he's at his strongest because no one can handle his power or his speed. Like his power and speed, like a lot of times when you see guards, they have speed, but their power's like down here. Or you have guys like Baron Davis, guys like James Harden. Their power's up here, but their speed is down here. With Zion's power and his speed is up here. You know what I'm saying? It's right there. Like they're at and you've never seen that.
Mm-hmm.
You've never seen that. And so, like, it's just, it needs to come out more. It needs to continue to be talked about more because if you're not using the player to their full capacity, it's like you're not getting what all you can get out of them because of the whole strategy and the philosophy of the game that you're putting out there. That's what you're putting out there, but you're not getting all of it. We're only getting a small percentage. And then when you add in the consistency part, it's the percentage is probably even lower than that. So it's nice to hear that, but it needs to be talked about even more. Like we have to keep talking about that because even with fans, I've heard fans talk about Zion at the 5, Zion at the 5, Zion at the 5. Like you're starting to hear fans, settle for that. For him playing in that position. And it's like, no, don't do that. Stop telling yourself that. You know what I'm saying? We need to send another message like, no, he needs to be here, not here.
DC, what you think?
I think it was obvious, it's pretty much a low-hanging fruit for anybody who watches Zion. We all know he's not a traditional big, but it's good to hear them say it. A lot of times the Pels are the last to the party with certain things. So just glad to know that they can see that and see that he's, he needs the ball in his hands. Used to having the ball in his hands. That's what you want for your playmakers but you got a guy like DeJounte Murray who can also make the game easier for him and his teammates. Zion does benefit from having a point guard a la Jose Alvarado. Like, it's amazing how great they look together, right? Because Jose is a true point guard. Zion can also play that and a bunch of other positions. So to me, he's the true definition of a positionless player. And I think David Griffin broke that down, and Willie Green came and they asked him about Zion playing the 5. And he said he's not a 5, you know what I'm saying? And he won't be playing the 5 probably. Or, well, matter of fact, we'll just call him a 6, you know, because Zion, to me, he's a guy that has such unique capabilities to where it's like you look at different players that's coming out now, like Wembanyama, man, it's a similar thing. Like, these guys are, you're classifying them as a center or a power forward, but their skill sets like range beyond that. Just because he scores in the paint, he doesn't do it a traditional way. You know, like David Griffin said, he does a lot of his scoring facing up. He don't do a lot of back to the basket scoring, even though he can. You know, Zion, to me, what I'm looking for, I don't want to see him shoot a lot of shots, but the evolution of that 3-point shot, which they alluded to in a lot of the interviews of him taking some of those corner threes, him taking some of those jumpers, and Zion in his interview, I know we're going to get to it, but I guess I'm spoiling it a little bit. Talking about taking what the defense is giving him. Like, that was huge. You know, David Griffin, thanks, hinting at a lot of those things. They're watching him in his workouts and what he's been training on. And just seems like a comment to kind of prepare the people that we may see something different with Zion than previous years. But, I mean, if you watch Zion in a Lakers game and that last run at the end of the season, you already knew it was coming. He was evolving right in front of our eyes. Maybe the last 5 to 10 games of the season, you start using that turnaround jumper all of a sudden, you know. So Doc got pointing out the obvious, definitely telling the truth. So guess you got to give him some points for that, because most of the stuff he be saying be lies.
All right, let's move to some of that, DC, because we got some of it clipped up. Shout out to Pelicans Film Room, man. They did a really wonderful job of clipping some of this stuff. Let's play Zion on DeJounte Murray.
What was your perspective on the DeJounte Murray trade? How well have you got to know him? How long have you known that guy?
So I already had like a relationship with DeJounte before he got traded here, and since he's been a part of the team on and off the court, he's shown why he's an important piece, like, already. So I'm glad we got that piece and looking to build off that.
And beyond, what was your perspective?
All right, that's some of Zion stuff. This is also his off-season commentary. Let's play a little of that for the fam. Here we go. So I can get that to work.
Really, like the first off-season maybe since when you went to Duke, that you get to really just focus on basketball. There hasn't been any talk about Zion off the court. There hasn't been talk about contracts, any of those things. For you mentally, what has this offseason been for you and in your approach to the game again and just getting ready for this season?
It's a breath of fresh air to experience a summer like that. Like you said, be able to really lock in on basketball, really break down film, work on different things while in the gym. Working smarter was kind of the main goal for the season.
All right, that's some of the things from the clips about Zion Williamson. I know some of you guys kind of talked about and touched on it, and the thought processes on Zion. I know you did, Lex. His overall, the offseason for Zion has been very interesting, to be honest with you. Him getting in really good shape. His some of the commentary made about having a vengeance for the season coming in really good shape there. So he sounds refreshed. He sounds ready to go, and that's always a good sign, because we need our centerpiece to be ready to do what he got to do and to take the NBA by storm like we thought he was going to do when he first got here. Is this the year we see Zion unleashed and totally realized? That's the thing. Is this the year Zion is realized finally for the flock? Go ahead, Lex.
I think it is, and I hope it is. because the thing is that his career depends on it at this point. Zion needs to change his whole career around. And really, I mean, obviously, last season was a huge step for him, playing 70 games. But again, he's going into year 6 and he's never been in the playoffs. And clearly, he knows that. So that's why he made that one of his goals as far as having a successful season and participating in the playoffs. So I can totally get that, and I'm glad. I definitely want those goals to be fulfilled. But obviously it does start mentally and physically. He's coming into training camp not all the way in shape. I mean, obviously you cannot replicate NBA basketball play. So that's a true statement for every NBA basketball player. Nobody is like truly in shape, with the exceptions of Olympic years, when the guys who played in the Olympics, they're basically the only ones who are in shape, because that's one thing that's been consistent. So, but yeah, I mean, he's coming in, he's feeling good physically, mentally is matching where he is physically. And I think that's what makes his mental state, so important, because everything's matching up, everything is syncing up. And I think it's been kind of like just a turbulent road when it comes to those two things. So I can definitely see that he's got a chip on his shoulder. I mean, that's why he said he's out for vengeance, not necessarily against a particular player, but for himself. Like, yeah, like it's personal. You know what I'm saying? As kind of like how Coach Prime would say, you got to make this thing personal. And that's what it needs to be. You have to have a chip on your shoulder. You have to be pissed off a little bit. Another thing that he said, and that came up again, he didn't say it in the interview, but a lot of people are talking about how he's been mentioning the 44-point loss. Actually, CJ mentioned it. He mentioned it. He thinks about that still. And remember, I told you, Big Q and DC, I told you guys, I don't want these guys to forget that game. Now, I don't know about everybody else. Clearly, CJ has had it, but when he talked to Zion, he kind of regurgitated that's what Zion was, thinking about. That's one thing that he's been thinking about off season. And sometimes things as far as, struggle and things that, that really are embarrassing and really just put a bad taste in your mouth. Sometimes things like that pressure and that struggle, it changes you. It's like, look, you know what? This can never happen again. It can never happen. But I said, I did not want these guys to forget that game, because it was embarrassing for the whole team. And it was multiplied by that even more with Zion, because he was out in the forefront. Everybody blamed him and attacked him and criticized him heavily. It wasn't anybody else. Everybody else was safe. But with Zion, it wasn't like that. So I'm glad that game, which was last December, early December, I'm glad that that's on his mind. And I still want them to keep that on their mind, because that was embarrassing for Pelicans fans. I mean, wouldn't y'all say?
Hell yeah, it was embarrassing.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that made me feel a certain kind of way. So I'm glad that, because it's almost like that game right there, it's keeping him honest. Like, man, this was a reality check. This event right here, everything that transpired in that game was a reality check.
Yeah, that's true, Lex. DC, what you think, brother? And we're gonna move on to the BI. I got a couple of clips from.
What was the question again?
The question was about Zion Williamson and his hearing what he said in the skit that we just played about being ready and everything. We're talking about his preparation in the offseason, the refreshment that he had, that he's coming into the new year with. Is this the year that you see him finally realize? Do we see Zion fully realized this year?
And I just want to let you know, for the sake of the last show, that was a long ass question.
It was
yes, it was. But I definitely think this is the year. I think one simple thing that we don't talk about a lot was Zion. Zion is a new father, and that can be a very humbling, grounding experience, and provide you with a lot of motivation to really go out there and get after it. I'm looking at him right now, on the screen. Zion's got a beard, he got some more ink. You see his tat on his arm, like he's turning into something else in front of us. You see him looking pretty slim. For Zion, I still think he can probably get his weight down a little bit more, but he looks really good. Hearing him answer the questions was another thing that I analyzed watching his interviews. He was very commanding. Like, they asked him a question and they threw some Kendrick Lamar stuff in there at the end of it. And, after he told them his music choices, and he kind of stopped the dude, readjusted him, and answered the question the way he wanted to, and got up out of there, man. He just seems to have a different era of confidence in knowing what he's doing. I like the fact that he talked about working smarter and not harder. And then he got into what I spoke about earlier, talking about, taking what the defense gives you. And that includes taking some of those jump shots, taking some intelligent threes, not having to force himself into the paint all the time. By actually taking some of them shots, he's probably going to get better, higher quality looks at the paint. If he continues to hit some of those mid-ranges at a high clip, at what point do they start trying to guard it somewhat, and stop waiting for him completely at the basket? As another element or wrinkle to Zion's game, he's already unstoppable. But if we can get Zion to the point where he doesn't have to get all of his points through physically overexerting himself, now you cooking. Now you looking at, MVP type season. Because if he doesn't have to use all of his stamina and energy so much offensively just to score, sometimes he's going up against 2-3 defenders, but he can fine tune his game where he doesn't have to do that. And you're looking at a Zion that can work smarter, not harder, right? You're looking at a Zion that can get some easy buckets with DeJounte Murray and the rest of the guys that he's got. He's probably going to up his numbers in assists, and he'll have more energy to get rebounds. The rebound numbers should go up if the offensive end gets easier, because Zion scores a lot of his points in the paint. He gets hacked. We see the hard fouls they give him for constantly going down there. We don't want him to make business decisions, you know what I'm saying? But definitely be smart and judicious with how he attacks the rim, man. I think that's another evolution to his game, and that can lead to him being even more unstoppable and being able to have some of these fantastic efficiency numbers and just excellent basketball play, but be able to do it easier without him having to break a sweat so much. And on top of that, as you can see, he looks to be in pretty good shape conditioning wise. But I agree with Lex, with a sport like basketball, you got a bunch of pretty much all the sports, man. Basketball, football, soccer, tennis. You can go to all of them, man. And boxing, you're not in shape for the sport unless you're doing it. So we ain't gonna really see his conditioning with that. It's probably gonna take him 10 games to fully get in basketball shape like everybody else. But he looks the part right now, man. And I think we have a lot to be excited about. This whole media day wasn't really all that exciting, but I think Zion is definitely the one extremely bright spot. Seeing how he's holding himself, how he's talking about what he did, his work ethic, CJ actually gave him some props on working better, working on the right stuff. And I think we're gonna see all of these things come together, man. And what he did over the summer is actually gonna show on the basketball court. And some people might be surprised, but I don't think we'll be. We'll just be proud.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man, to see how it all plays out with Zion, man. And it's the frustration of the flock, man. We have to see something dominant this year, something that we haven't seen before. Maybe perhaps Zion plays more than 70+ games this year, leads the Pelicans into the playoffs, and gets a deep playoff run. Will be cool, man, to see, because this team is loaded. Let's move on to the next one, man, as we keep this thing moving. Let's see this BI skit right here. This is a skit right here where BI is talking about playing out the last season of his contract on the extension. I'll play that one and another one. Here we go.
Got 1 year left in the deal. What are your thoughts on, like, do you anticipate playing this year out on that contract? Do you expect to get something done before the start of campus? What are your thoughts there right now?
I don't expect anything. I'm just happy to play basketball right now. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just expect to play basketball, yeah.
I think got 1 year left in the deal.
I got to hit that one again, man.
What are your thoughts on, do you anticipate playing this year out on that contract? Do you expect to get something done before the start of campus? What are your thoughts there right now?
I don't expect anything. I'm just happy to play basketball right now. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just expect to play basketball, yeah.
Let's get BI a cup of coffee, man. He's like D'Angelo energy, man. And also, this is another one right here. I guess, and this is about BI saying, saying that asking does he have
how the summer transpired for you, for you in the contract negotiations, everything being kind of in the public talked about. Do you feel like you're entering this season with a chip on your shoulder, with maybe something to prove?
I guess something to prove. But more just getting back to loving the game again, loving the process, and knowing what's important. And I think that's winning basketball games and making sure that I'm my best self every single day. And I think I have a good mindset to do those things.
All right, that's some of BI stuff from the press conference. Of course, there was a little bit.
Say Big Q.
Go ahead, DC.
I hate to cut you off. Well, not really, I'm lying. But you need to find a clip where BI, they asked him, because they asked Willie. Willie's interview was actually before BI's. And they asked Willie about BI getting up more 3-point shots.
Yeah.
And one of the interviewers asked him a question in reference to the question that they asked Willie about BI getting up more threes. Like, well, did you look at some of your old tape? And because he shot a lot more threes,
right?
Under Alvin Gentry and Stan Van Gundy. And man, the reporter was asking the question, and it sounded like, I didn't go back and listen again, but I was hoping we could find that clip because it sounded like he mumbled under his breath, Willie Green ain't like to ask me that shit. That would have sounded like.
Said something. I don't remember. He
said something, and it was very like it irked him or agitated him. What he said. I don't know if he said he ain't gonna have to ask me that, or if it was something more defiant, like I'm not changing.
Yeah, it was something.
Let's see if we can find that clip about him asking about his 3-point shot.
But for right now, go ahead and keep breaking your stuff down. I know why you.
Well, he definitely need a cup of coffee. I agree with you on that. But B.I. is always mild manner like that, man. Really, really talks very low.
That's just in front of us. According to his teammates, he is not like that.
Well, he's probably trying to, really think about what he's saying, not say the wrong thing. You got to be professional. So I don't know. I think some guys with the lights and the cameras on, like he might curse a lot or something. Like he, just don't want to mess up. Really thinking about everything he's saying. But man, the thing we're watching BI, I looked at the pictures, I looked at this interview. He just didn't really. I don't know, man. Like he don't really seem like he give a
I
shit.
I
To
felt
be
that
honest.
I felt that
He's
same way.
always laid back,
Just too.
right? But he just really, it's like that.
Laid back.
Bi's always laid back, but he has like an intensity to him. Like you're looking at him, you can kind of see it in his eyes and his mannerisms and stuff. I didn't see him smiling a lot. Usually, most media days, he smiles a lot. He's a little goofy with the players and stuff when you're not looking. I seen him talking and smiling a little bit, but
Not a whole lot of conviction.
yeah. And then the questions they asking him, man. I mean, Bi was like a steel trap with these questions, man. And other than him rehabbing, for most of the summer, like you didn't really get anything out of him with this interview, man. Like you can't watch his interview and draw anything from that. Like he gave this whole spiel about him figuring things out and how to communicate with his teammates and his coaches, and it was like, what? And they asked him about the end of the season or if he had a chip on his shoulder, and he went into talking about communicating with his coaches, with knowing how to communicate with coaches now. And I'm like,
And
what
what
the
does
hell
that
is
say
going
about
on?
his mental state? What does that say about mentally?
He's tapped out to me. I don't think he's Bi is a professional, so I think he's really just going with the flow of things. This is, I think, our version of him taking a back seat. I think they told him Zion's, going to be the guy or whatever. I'm sure we're going to have shots for him, but I don't know, man. He seems kind of hands off. He could be a little down on himself because he did say that his knee just recently started feeling normal. So the whole time we're talking about Bi not being in these workouts and all of that, he was still rehabbing his knee.
All right, hold on.
At least that's what he said.
Let me play this one. I think I might have found it.
Bi, get your threes up is something that he's going to say often. You looked at older film where you did shoot more threes or things like that and thought about incorporating that, how you might incorporate that back in the game. And then the other part is without Jonas, there isn't really somebody this team can throw the ball into in the post. And you've shown at times the ability to post up in the mid-range, and thought about incorporating that, how you might incorporate that back.
We can make it easy for each other.
We talked a lot about, quite frankly, said, Bi, get your threes up is something that he's going to say often. You looked at older film where you did shoot more threes or things like that.
They edited the film.
Yeah, they cut it out. So
they cut what he said out. The film is skips there.
Are you serious? Wow,
that's crazy. So he said something. He said something now, man.
About incorporating that.
See what
he might have said, "I ain't trying to hear that shit."
So what does that say about where he is mentally?
Here you go, right here again, y'all. Listen.
Bi, get your threes up is something that he's going to say often. When you looked at older film where you did
You
shoot
see how it jumped?
things
The
like
screen jumped. They cut it out.
They cut it out of it. Go ahead.
So he didn't say Willie Green not gonna have to tell me that shit. Then that must have been what he said.
Okay, so what
don't worry, I'm gonna find it on.
What does that say about his being professional? Because they cut that out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because
they might have cut it out, Lex, but we got it on our stream. That's why we archive these things.
Maybe they cut it out because he cursed. He did sound like he said shit. So maybe that's why they cut it out.
No, that man. Maybe they'll do that with the F word, but come on, man. Like for them to go out of their way to cut that out, that's crazy. It must have been something, because the thing is that with the media, they pick up everything. So if they see something where they can take advantage of, they'll do that. I mean, we see it all the time with mainstream media. We see it all the time. And don't think for a minute, everybody knows about this situation. This situation is very troubling. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is even with mainstream media, they talk about it. It's just weird. And then you're listening to him, you're looking at his demeanor, you're listening to his answers. I think really that first sentence that he said when they first asked him a question, I don't expect anything. Like, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? The season hasn't even started yet. You don't expect anything. Like, that statement right there is what does it mean? What does it mean? I mean,
I'm not buying the David Griffin thing. That's obviously what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? The David Griffin thing.
they should have went on and traded him, man.
He's happy. He's brought in. He wants to be here. We want him here, but there's situations to figure out mechanically how you can make everything work mechanically.
Man, I'm getting tired of that dude saying meaningful and mechanical.
He's a good human. He's
like
a good
M&M. Okay, that's his M&Ms right there. Meaningful and mechanical. Those two words, he need to lose them.
He not.
He need to lose them. I'm getting tired of them words. Like, what does that mean, mechanical? You know, we gotta think of these.
I guess he's trying to say. To me, it sounds like he's talking financially every time he says that. He's referring to like contracts. I don't know why he says mechanical.
Man, he uses mechanical on a lot of stuff. DC, a lot.
That's the new word, the new buzzword he got this year. The new mechanical thing he been using that this year a lot. Yeah, he's the dude finds words and he abuses them. You know. I was trying to find that part because we also copied the stream. I'm gonna find the part where he says they edited it on theirs, but it's not edited on ours. But anyway, while we keep doing that, let's keep it moving, man. Let's move on to the next talking point. We talked about BI from what I agree with you guys from what I've seen. I knew it was early in the morning for BI and all that kind of stuff, but he's always got that nonchalant demeanor. But he did. Yeah. He mentioned the fact that he's not expecting nothing from the contract. He's not enthused about it. So
Jose hinted at it too, man. When they interviewed him, Jose, he keep it real, man.
That's right.
He said he was just happy to see BI in a uniform there smiling because they asked him, I think before, like his take on BI's situation, and he was like, man, it's crazy. Like it's just bad. Like he was saying something about it being bad before they started interviewing him. And it's just weird, like the whole thing. But DeJounte went into the whole spill about them having a relationship and da da da. I don't remember BI saying anything about DeJounte.
Hold on, just
actually he did. He talked about DeJounte and them being
in high school,
same draft class and all of that, and they've been friends and da 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 da. That was the most upbeat I think I remember him in the interview when they asked him about DeJounte.
Yeah, they were a few camps together, like in high school.
And BI did mention the fact that he just wants, he wants to have fun again with the game. He wants to. He did.
Yeah, he said he was just happy to be back playing basketball. So maybe some of this is him. He's upset and frustrated, but he's trying to work his way through it. Because I think he's gonna show up, man. I don't think BI gonna be no dark cloud over the team like you heard in some of them articles and be causing problems. I think he's gonna go out there and try to really, to do the best he can for the team and himself. I do think he's gonna be a little selfish, and I mean he has to be. Like you're potentially getting traded, you're in a contract year. Like he gonna be trying to show out a little bit, and
see
the situation, rightfully so. We gotta trade him if we don't want to see that because it has to happen.
All right, Lex, go ahead quick because I was going to play from the part and see if this our copy's not edited. So we'll see what he says. But go ahead, Lex, what you was going to say.
No, I just think that's kind of a concern because if he's trying to be a little bit more selfish, how does that affect the team? You know what I'm saying? And because we know, like
positively, I think, unless it gets out of hand.
I mean,
but that's the thing, though. I mean, in the past, you know what I'm saying? When we've seen, look, when Brandon's not bought in, which he showed that last year, we saw how it affected the team because everybody thought it was Zion who wasn't bought in. I mean, Zion talked about that publicly, and it seemed like people went in on him for being honest. But really, we didn't hear anything about Brandon not buying in until the exit interviews. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just because, he just didn't talk about that stuff. Zion was upfront about it. He was like, hey, I'm having a hard time buying in, but I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? We didn't even hear that part from him. So, I mean, I'm just looking at that because really the whole situation seems like deja vu. Because he knew, like, even last year, he was coming up for that extension. You know what I'm saying? And really things just didn't work out throughout the whole season. And he said that from FIBA to, all season with the Pelicans, it wasn't his best season in a Pelicans uniform. He said that verbatim. So, I mean, hopefully it changes, but we've talked many a times where BI has to get out of his own way because, he thinks that he's a specific type player when it's like, hey man, you got to reconstruct your thinking and how you're going to fit in with the team. Cause that's been the biggest thing as far as, his fit and dialing in. Same thing as last season.
It'll see how interesting it is when we see who predominantly has the ball in terms of DeJounte Murray, Zion Williamson, and what it'll look like moving forward. A lot of this will be determined coming up in the preseason, man.
That's the thing right there, man. I think like you spoke about him being a little selfish and affecting the team. I think having DeJounte as a point guard, man, I think DeJounte is somebody who could actually check BI and he would listen to him.
Right.
And he's also going to be in control of distributing the ball. So if he get too selfish in a negative way, like we have a point guard, that's what they're for, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that ball ain't going to go over there unless we want you to put it up if you start acting like that.
That's right. That's right.
So I think we do have a contingency plan in place with DeJounte Murray.
A damn good one.
I like that contingency.
It's a damn
I like the way you said that.
I think the whole thing, man, can actually be a positive for us because maybe we do need some friction. Maybe we need some negative emotion. We've had so many.
No, it's not
positive,
amazing.
happy go lucky stuff. We need some what's the word I'm just looking for? You say some fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, it's like if you really want to win, the teams that really are passionate about winning, that like if something's going wrong, like it's like throw some stuff in the locker room, like because the thing is that's actually pretty positive. I know it's negative and things, but those things need to be aired out. I kind of feel like because the locker room is laid back, you have a lot of laid back players, players that, hey, I don't want no smoke. I ain't trying to ruffle the feathers. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you don't really have that in the locker room, it's like everybody's kind of quiet and kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like just it's almost like a silent killer because nothing is really being said the way it needs to be said. And it's like, does the team? It's that edge. It's that killer. And we've been talking about that. And I've been saying, look, violence. I know it's
right
probably
on the screen, Lex.
over exaggerated, but that's what this team needs. It's like somebody needs to be pissed off. Somebody needs to be upset. Somebody needs to be angry.
You got them. I mean, it's to neutralize that though. But that's the point about DeJounte Murray's game from San Antonio to Atlanta. He comes with the edge that you speak about. He also is going to command. Those guys respect him, the BIs and the Zions and the CJ.
Griff described him as an alpha leader.
He is.
Right. They respect.
Like he sat under Greg Popovich, right?
Yeah.
And
that's what he won't.
DC. He went to Atlanta and he had was Nate McMillan still over there, I believe. He sat under Nate McMillan as a coach. DC. And Quinn Snyder, man. Like
for a second, I'm gonna give you the mic back, bro. Let me finish this BI point. Then we'll move on to DeJounte Murray. We'll move on to what Willie Green had to say. But hold your point right there. Let me play this little part here from what we think, that the Pelicans edited on their staff. Let's hear what he said.
single-handedly with Trey, with his team, running his team, and he's been a great player in the league. So it's gonna be fun to work with him. I think to play with him on the floor, but behind the scenes to kind of pick his brain a little bit and see what he sees on the floor and how we can make it easy for each other.
We talked a lot about, quite frankly, said, "B.I. get your threes up" is something that he's going to say often. How
Who gonna say that?
Willie said that. So, is that something that you've
You caught that?
wanted?
You ain't gonna have to say none of that shit.
They cut out all that. What he said? Who said that?
That's good. He said he ain't gonna have to say none of that shit. Like he planning on shooting a lot of threes. That's what it sounded like to me. That's
He
good.
did.
That's good. And he had a smile when he said it too. Like,
is something that he's
what?
going to say often. How
Who gonna say that?
Willie said that. So, is that something that you've wanted? Have you looked at older film where you did shoot more threes or things like that?
They thought they were slick, but we got them. That's why we do this, man. We know what time it is.
Man, B.I. been in the lab working on this 3-point shot, bro.
That makes some more money.
I want it exactly. So he's been listening to what everybody's saying about him not shooting threes and this mid-range game, but it's not involved with the B.I. gonna come out shooting
See
damn
what he
threes.
sees on the floor and how we can make it easy for each other.
We talked a lot about, quite frankly, said, "B.I. get your threes up" is something that he's going to say often. How
Who gonna say that?
Willie said that. So, is that something that you've wanted? Have you looked at older film where you did shoot more threes or things like that, and thought about incorporating that? How you might incorporate that back in the game? And then the other part is, without Jonas, there isn't really somebody this team can throw the ball into in the post. And you've shown at times the ability to post
Yeah, long ass question like you.
mid block and on the low block. Is that something that maybe that you also want to add to?
Go ahead, Lex.
So why did they cut that out?
Because he cursed.
No.
They cut that whole segment out, DC. It's more than this.
But okay, so if I'm trying to understand why they cut it out. Like,
that's the only thing I can think of.
He's not gonna have to say.
They cut out the Willie part. Like, who said? Who said
maybe he said he ain't gonna say none of that shit.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like
maybe he said he ain't gonna say none of that shit.
They don't cut out those words. They usually cut out F word or the B word or something. But it's like I'm trying to figure out why did they feel the need to cut that part out.
He ain't gonna say none of that shit.
If you know what I'm saying?
That's what
like,
he said.
was it in a positive sense, or it's like, man, I ain't even
I'm hearing half too because that's what I want here. But he's probably said he ain't gonna say none of that shit.
That's what I'm thinking, because if it was said in a positive,
Willie
like
Green ain't gonna tell me shit.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I'm saying. I think if they cut that out, I don't think it was in a positive. I think he was like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the only reason why they would cut that out. And that's when I'm kind of like, okay, that doesn't match up. If it's like, man, well, he ain't gonna have to say, you know what I'm saying?
Play it one more time, Q.
It's like, hey, I'm gonna be shooting those threes. But if they cut it out, then that's probably not what he said. Like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. It's more like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make sense of
say
it.
He ain't gonna say none of that shit, or he ain't gonna have to say none of that shit. Let's see which one. Play it one more time. Let's try to see which one.
There was something with the wording.
But all I'm saying is, listen, you up to that point, he was pretty melancholy with a lot.
He got animated with that.
He got a little
a whole lot more attitude.
Yeah, he had more attitude.
Kind of like it's almost like it kind of turned him the wrong way or something, or I don't know. I mean, but if they cut that out, it doesn't make sense. If it was in a positive sense, why would you cut that out?
I'm trying to find it again. And what we're saying for some of the family members that's joining us here is the fact that the Pelicans rendition of the BI interview was sent. It was edited. The interview itself was edited at a point when the reporter asked BI about what Willie said in the previous, because Willie was before him, way before him, about him shooting more threes. And I'm gonna play that momentarily. But but they cut out the point all the way from when he says, who said that? Like the guy asked me, said Willie said it. And then he said something. They snipped all that out. All that got.
He was waiting for him to say Willie, huh? Well, and to put it in context, man, we got to remember that the last game of the season, Brandon Ingram was benched. Has Willie Green lost Brandon Ingram after that?
Well, according to Willie Green, he said that they in a good space. Like he's been fantastic. But see,
come on,
that's why I was saying stuff was not matching up. You hear me? Like stuff ain't matching up, man. It's like, okay, y'all saying that, Brandon, he's great. He's in a great space. And then we're listening to Brandon. It's kind of like, are y'all sure? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
That's just Brandon. That's his personality.
No.
That's just Brandon being Brandon.
I don't expect anything. Hey, man, I just want to play basketball. I don't expect anything. That don't sound like one of them, like,
he's a man. He's not a man of many words, Brandon.
Listen to the words. He's in a fantastic space. He's in a great space.
I'm sure if you ask him that question with more clarity, he'll give you a more in-depth answer. That's just Brandon being Brandon.
Did you all hear when they asked Brandon about fair value? They did ask him about his Instagram posts.
Yeah, he said it was personal. It wasn't about the team. And I was like,
no,
it was definitely about the team.
He was saying he answered like, what it's all about what you do, what do you do well and what you don't do well, and how you treat people, your character, and your body of work. That's some of the things that he talked about. So I was like, okay, so, huh? You know what I'm saying? In basketball terms, like, I mean, because, they were asking about the contract, but that's how he steered the question.
Tasha, you need a hearing test.
Hey, Tasha, I'm glad y'all here. It's a picture of Greg Popovich. We're trying to see game back.
Mother Tasha is in the building. Let's give her.
What the hell is he reading, Q?
He's got a game plan for Zion.
Save the clock tower. That's what he's reading.
Gee,
look, you see his. Go back to that picture.
I need my turbo flux capacitor for my game.
Do you see how big his eyes are? Look, save the clock tower is the biggest fine.
Greg Popovich, I don't know what he said.
He got his eyes wide open, like.
How would you feel if you got hit with 2,000 gigawatts? Your eyes would be big too.
Dog, you didn't see that? You didn't.
Save the clock tower about it.
Well, maybe he's looking at the smaller fine. I don't know. What's going on, Tasha? It's good to see you.
Greg Popovich going crazy, man. He's going crazy trying to stop Zion. That's what's going on.
Did you check out your media day pics with your team?
Nope.
They almost were remaking.
Man, him and Chris Paul can't stand side by side. That just looks weird.
Bobo, well, not Bobo. Manute Bo and what's his name? Muggsy Bogues.
Muggsy.
They were remaking that a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they had that up side by side.
Chris Paul too old for that.
Tasha ain't worried about
they
that.
They should have remade that. They can still do it though with the basketballs because they had 3 basketballs.
He leaned on him, he probably hurt him. So I mean,
that would have been really tight.
Yeah, but if he leans on him, he probably injure him. He'd be out half the season. So.
Oh dang! Don't.
All right, so let's move to one of our favorite people, Willie. You hear a couple of snippets.
I thought we was going to DeJounte.
Well, we'll go there in a second because we've linked BI and Willie.
Oh shit!
So we have to go there And then we ain't gonna lean on it because we got a few more topics to cover. Then
you say Willie Green, man. You gonna make the horns come out of Lexxah.
No, Lex has.
Hey, I don't have
Lex assured us pre-stream before we got on here.
Okay.
That Lex was gonna be cool on Willie. She's good.
I didn't say that.
Okay, that's good.
I didn't say that. Don't speak lies out of me.
He good for putting words in people, Marquis. Stop that, bro.
I said Lex is right. She's cool. Right.
Keep it real, Lex.
All right. Stop fanning the fire, DC. Here we go. Here's
the fire. Ain't no fire.
Here is Willie Green.
Do you feel like you have to start a traditional center, or like are you going to be okay with some nights like we're just going to throw, a guard, 2 guards, and a couple wings out there? Like, are you just dead set on the idea of starting a true center?
I'm not dead set on it. I'm pretty undecided, but I have some thoughts on it that I'll keep to myself. And then when we get to camp, I just think that your team helps you make those decisions based on the continuity. And the fact of the matter is we're gonna have a ton of games where we don't have a traditional center on the floor. Okay, so that's gonna happen. Most teams, I don't even know most, but teams in the games, and a lot of times it's not a traditional center on the floor. We got to get accustomed to playing that way for a good bulk of the game, a good percentage of the game anyway. But we'll see how it goes.
Just because.
All right, that's some of what Willie said, and I might also have another one on the 3-point shooting from BI. This is the one that BI, the report, had in the comment on.
Just to follow up on that, with Brandon specifically, we've talked about him needing to get his threes up a little bit. He's acknowledged it. So, just, what's the dialogue with him on that, and I guess what needs to kind of happen to help him achieve those goals?
Get your threes up, BI. But he knows, he's aware of it. He'll communicate it to you himself, but it's trying to continue to break some habits. His habit is to get to his sweet spot and jump up and shoot the ball, and he's the elite at doing it. It's an area of growth, something that he's working on, something that he worked on all summer, and he knows that that's a part of that unlocks other components to his game. So I'm excited to get on the floor with him, and we will continue to work.
Just to follow up on that, with Brandon specifically.
All right, that's some of that go Willie.
Did Brandon tell us that himself?
Did he say what, Lex?
What did he say? He said Brandon will tell you that himself.
Did he?
Did he?
I didn't hear it.
Like I said, man, hey.
Could be something there, but that could be. But I'm saying that could be a conversation that Willie had with BI behind the scenes. I mean, he probably had that conversation more than once or twice.
I mean,
because he had a whole damn season of him. He's pushing 43-point shots a night. At some point, he had to have that conversation at least once or twice. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure he addressed them a couple of times. So I'm not trying to, say, but I'm saying if he coaching a guy, he the head coach of the team, and he wants people to shoot threes, and BI is one of his stars, that he wants him to be a part of those guys. I don't know if he's telling Zion to shoot 3-pointers. He's Zion shoot 3-pointer. I don't know if he's telling them that, but BI, I gotta think BI is one of those guys that he's telling shoot the 3. He said he did, and I don't think Willie's a liar. DC's on record for saying Willie ain't no liar. Willie will tell you.
He a lot of stuff. He's not a liar though.
Yeah. So go ahead, y'all can comment on that. Go ahead.
It depends on how you look at that, though.
Uh-oh.
Well, how you gonna make Willie a liar? Can't you give him one thing, Lex?
I mean, there's a lot. No, he contradicts himself. I listen to him. Contradicting yourself ain't all the way 100, right?
Well, I mean, he contradicts himself. I give you that, but is that intentional, or is just just okay?
Intentional.
Okay.
Look, I'll give you a prime example. Like, remember in the series against OKC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He said, you know what? Yeah, we're open to making changes and doing things differently, because obviously they were getting close to elimination, right? He said they were going to make some changes right before the elimination game. So right before the presser, right before the game, before they're going out there, we're not making any changes.
Well, that's not.
He said that. He straight up said that the whole time leading up to that. He said that they were open.
That's a mind change, though. To me,
No.
I mean, because he announced it.
Like, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. You're
No,
going
I'm
to keep
saying-
doing things and expecting a
We're
different
gonna keep
result.
on chopping wood.
But that's what he's been doing. That's what he's been doing.
DC mixing up the coaches, man.
That's not changing your mind, dog. What you've been doing has not been working. You know what I'm saying? You're in an elimination game. You know what I'm saying? The only reason why he played Jayhawk was because it was his birthday.
But I'm saying, let me ask you this.
Everybody deserves to play on their birthday. Lex.
You know what? That's horrible coaching. Why are you
It was only for 2 minutes.
Birthday gift? I'm gonna play this grown man on his birthday. Like what?
Here you go, son.
I only played him for like 3 minutes.
I think it was like 2.
Oh, gosh.
It was less than 4 minutes. I could tell you that much.
Okay, you get what I'm saying, though. Like, yeah, Jayhawk, he's gonna get some playing time. You only did that because it was his birthday, Willie. Because after that, he didn't play no more.
Not a damn minute over.
Like, dog. Oh my gosh. I mean, is that a black lie or, you know what I'm saying? A basketball lie? You know what I'm saying?
A little green lie.
Game playing lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I mean, I'm just confused on that. But go on, man, because were we open to talk about some other things? What he said?
Well, I mean, DC, you want to chime in on what you heard Willie Green say on these few skits right here? You want to chime in or what you want to do, brother?
Yeah, you got to get that 3 ball up. But I mean, it's the same thing with Willie. To be honest, when Willie talks, he says a lot of the right things, right? And you're like, oh, okay. He talked about him needing to improve as a coach, and he wants to continue to evolve. You know what I'm saying? And not turn into this guy, apparently, who's lost his mind. But he would like to take some of the lessons he learned from that guy and implement them here. And he talked about having the coaching staff on hand to help fill in the spots where he's not good at. Well, Will, the only thing I want to say about that is make sure when they're trying to fill in the spots where you're not good at, that you don't become stubborn and don't listen, or that you listen and then you go back to the way you were doing it before you listen. Because that's the issue, I think we see a lot of times. Things get corrected and then we don't stick with them. So I didn't hear anything about that in the interview. That's really what I was looking for. Yeah, I'm working on not being so indecisive, like not knowing whether I'm going to use a traditional center or not. But maybe he's just saying that for game planning purposes. Who knows? I did like the fact that he shot down Daniel Tice being automatically injected to be the starting center. And he said the guy's got to go through training camp. I got to see him. Like, okay, well, that's what I would think, you should say, because you have to give everybody a chance, man. We have an open spot. Nobody has any claim to that spot. Let it play itself out and see what's the best set of lineups and the best guys to put in place instead of just trying to predetermine it. So did like that. But other than that, it was, the regular Willie Green pretty much interview. He's perfected the art of giving us a tape of an interview because they all sound the same at this point. So the same old Willie Green.
Yeah, they do sound the same. Yeah, they do.
Okay. Go ahead,
I
Lex.
do want to say this. There was a statement that he made. There was this. to this day is still troubling. But he said, and this was verbatim because I wrote it down.
Willie?
Yes, I wrote down a lot of things.
Are those notes all on Willie?
Yes, this is a full page for him.
Lex, can I do this? Can I do this before you have this
I
extended?
did a full page for each person, you guys. Okay, but his actually took up the whole page.
Hold on, Lex. Hold on. I want you to talk.
Dang, he did. Look, he got more than Griff and Bryson Graham.
Hey, so play ball, Willie.
Lex, hold on just a second. I'm gonna let you run your list down. Let me play this for the last time for BI. This is what Willie and what BI was saying about Willie telling him to get his 3-pointers up. You get your 3-point shooting up. This is the clipped out part that the Pelicans people took off their website that we have on ours. That's why we do this. There it goes.
Something that he's going to say often.
Who gonna say that?
Willie said that. So is that something that you've wanted? Have you looked at older film where you did shoot more threes or things like that, and thought about incorporating that? How you might incorporate that back in the game? And then the other part is without Jonas, there isn't really somebody this team can throw the ball into in the post.
All right, so that's just
he definitely said have to, man. He said he ain't gonna have to say none of that shit.
Yeah.
But why did they cut it out?
Man, you need to ask the media people, Lex. But I actually like that.
No, that looks suspicious though. Is that really what he said? Because if it's
that doesn't reflect Brandon Ingram of being a wonderful human being with him using such profane language. We need to remove that from the audio log, and it doesn't work mechanically with the situation and the type of brand we're building with this team. So I need you to remove that.
You got to be a little bit more light sounding, DC. You got to sound.
Man, I got too much bass in my voice doing that.
You got to take a little bit more of the bass.
Q, how much more? I'm speaking through my nose. Like
you got to be you got to be more robotic in your.
You got to be a smooth criminal.
Yeah. You got to be. Next, go ahead and get to your talking points on the list. Can you run through them expeditiously?
Sure. I mean, and I put spaces in between them. Okay, 'cause I just wanted to be organized. But one thing that he said, as far as having a talented roster, I don't know if I'm sleeping better because we do have a talented roster. That's crazy to me. I mean, do you want a bad roster so that you can sleep well?
Well, then he come on, Lex. You got to cut him some slack. He went in and talked about you can't play 12 players, and
DC, hold on. Let we're gonna break it up. We're gonna get our comments in. I just want Lex to go through the list. Lex, go ahead and run it down.
About the barbecue.
The last time, like he said that, obviously last year was a talented roster. We've seen what he's done with the talented roster.
We say that about DC all the time. What's the point?
No, I'm saying, like, dude, if you have a talented roster, that should actually be easy. Why is it hard? Like, he's such a great shooter. He shoots like Steph Curry and Ray Allen, but it's hard. It's hard to get him out there. Huh? You're finding it hard to put somebody out there?
Baby Ray Allen of all people.
You got a lot of good
Curry. And
a lot of good people.
I'm just saying though.
You got a lot of Steph Curry's on the bench too. Yeah.
DC, cut it out. The man got a lot of.
And I don't know if y'all noticed, but I heard the Warriors a lot with Griff. With you know what I'm saying? Did y'all hear that when they were talking about? They are really trying to replicate the system that the Golden State Warriors have, but it's like we don't have snipers.
I mean, actually, they're not like them, but we got Trey and Trey, Jordan, CJ. I would consider all of them snipers, to be honest.
Oh my goodness!
They're not Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Goddamn.
DC,
they are snipers.
What you talking, man?
Them two are the best shooters in what? If you put a top
in the history of the game.
Yeah, they like one. They like 1 and 2. Maybe you could say Baby Ray after Steph and then Klay.
But I'm saying you put both of those guys together in the same era of time, man. You don't see that often. You don't see that type of stuff.
And Draymond Green. No, I
And
don't
put a
think we have a
team.
Draymond Green either.
If you see a team, the talent, the team, and put it around them and what they did and how they did it, man, they changed the game, bro. We got to get that was some groundbreaking.
You got an Andre Iguodala though.
The Pelicans don't even have shooters. Like they don't. And the fact that they mentioned them and Zion kind of checked that. He was like, man, this team is we ain't like that team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did. He shut that down. He's like, who you talking about? The Warriors? The championship Warriors?
Yeah.
He's like, look, we gotta contend. We hopefully we can get.
And I'm glad he did that because it's like, what are y'all doing talking about the Warriors? Like, no. Come on, people.
Difference in ideologies again, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. What else you got, Lex?
One thing that he said that was also troubling is that he's coming, he said this verbatim, he's coming into a head coach. What does that mean?
Big Q ain't want to hear that shit.
What does that mean?
I had a pause button.
This is your what? This is your what? He said that. He said it. I was listening.
He started off as an assistant, Lex.
What do you mean? This is going in year 4 as being a legitimate head coach.
I was given the job a little too early.
What are you talking about? You're coming into a head coach.
He meant to say he was coming into a elite head coach.
GC, cut it out. I see what you're trying to do.
Hey man, what does that mean, Big Q? What does it mean?
I can't explain what he's talking about on this show. This is childish.
Not been a head coach this whole time.
He's been an assistant head coach. David Griffin been coaching the team.
Head coach.
I put hey, listen. I don't know what's going on here with what he said there, and this is a children's show. But what's your next?
You think you're still an assistant coach? What?
No, I don't. Realistically, you know.
Habits die hard.
Listen, it's levels.
And Borrego on the staff ain't helping.
It's levels to this, right? We know that level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. At some point, you get more experience.
Still on level 0.
That's right, Q. Clean it up. Come on, clean it up.
All I'm saying is, remember what Trey Murphy said when he
cleaned up just like Dennis Allen. Come on.
Oh my gosh, coming into the head coach. What are you talking about? And you're going into year 4.
Okay, go ahead, Lex. What's the next point?
He said he want to be a steady climber as a coach.
That's not bad. How you gonna make that bad, Lex? Come on, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's your one comment I disagree with. That one, that ain't bad. What you gonna say? Where he climbing to? What you got?
A steady climber? What
If
do
he
you
was
mean steady climber?
Till you reach the top.
You talking about
Still taking
progress?
baby steps.
Steady climber.
Steady climbing.
Lex, the other ones is problematic, but this
Still
one,
coming into a head coach.
Oh no, yeah, you got him with that one.
that second one is that I don't think he meant what we thinking about.
No, he said that first.
I think Willie might be having an affair with an assistant
Head
coach.
coach. Everybody in the chat, does that make sense? In year 4, are you still coming into a head coach?
He forgot the other word, Lex.
Did Willie go to a Diddy party?
Oh wow. God damn. He's a Christian.
We're gonna put a pause on all this shit. Lex, what's your next one, please?
No, that is kind of crazy, man.
Because that would own it. I don't know what's going
I
on.
wasn't even thinking like that. I was really thinking like what Lex was talking about, but when you put it in perspective like that, that makes it like 10 times worse.
Willie better watch it.
I'm listening. I'm
You like that fast talking dude that don't be saying anything. What's his name? Got caught flirting with that lady. What's his name, DC?
Who are you talking about?
That little fat guy that be fast talking and not
Are you
saying
talking
nothing.
about Wendy?
No. It's another.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
The kind of heavy set brother with the glasses that be on the.
Oh, you're talking about Drewski, huh?
No,
comedian dude.
No, not him. What's y'all know what I'm talking about? It's the little fat brother. No, it's
what he be on? He's like a sports commentator.
He be on political channels. It's a little dude. He be saying, "Oh yeah, about the judge her vanilla, her chocolate lusciousness or whatever he was saying. Y'all know what I'm talking about. What's the name?
What's going on, man? I don't know what you're talking about.
Dude, the little fat dude,
You
man.
must have found you didn't drunk that spiked pineapple juice you be selling, huh?
Yeah, no, that's the stuff.
I don't know what the hell you talking about.
The little dude, what's his name? Duncan.
Duncan.
The little fat guy that be saying a bunch of words but ain't saying nothing. Duncan. Clark Duncan. What's his name? What's the man name? Clark Duncan is his last name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But anyway, go ahead, Lex.
You put a clip up of him, bro.
No, I can't.
We'll put it side by side with Will.
It's not interesting, bro. But go ahead. Go ahead, Lex. Next talking point.
He did state that he needs to be better in the clutch. He did put that on himself. But I mean, there really wasn't a whole lot there because the stats proved that. So that was great. He did mention Jayhawk, but obviously he mentioned his defense.
No, Jayhawk has to find a way to carve out some minutes for himself, and it starts with his defense.
Yeah,
so you got a dude who's a prolific shooter.
But DC,
everything
truthfully, DC, he mentioned that
he need to play better defense. We get it, but like him carving out minutes for us, he should have some mandatory.
CJ needs to play better defense. And
But
what year is he in?
Hawkins said he need to get on his defensive game.
Yeah.
That's what
He said he got stronger. He's been working out on his strength and a lot of different things. They actually did say to give Hawk a shout out. Him, JRE, probably Herb, and somebody else. Man, they say they've been living in the facility.
Probably Herb. You said Herb. Trey,
I threw Herb in there because it's got to be. It wasn't Trey.
Probably the rookies too.
It wasn't Eves Meese's. They didn't say him.
Antonio.
Zion.
Antonio
has been up in there.
It wasn't Zion either.
Matt Ryan.
It might have been. Was it DeJounte?
Probably was DeJounte.
Maybe DeJounte, Hawk, JRE, and probably Herb. They've been living in the facility.
All right, let's let Lex go ahead and run them down. What else you got?
No, that's basically it. I put really big, because they were asking him about, just strategies and things that he's working on over the off season. That dude wasn't working on nothing.
Damn.
I'm like, dude,
Lex, go ahead, call him.
You ain't studying your team. You ain't studying the personnel of your team in the off season. You just gonna wait till training camp. I don't know, man. I mean, look,
because some of this, he got
things,
because some of them not be wanting to tip his hand.
He said that though. He said he got ideas. He ain't gonna tell y'all. He gonna see how it go in training camp.
I'm sure he knows some things, because the players were saying the same thing too. Like when they were talking to them, they were like, we ain't even had
all I know is he was talking right at Lex when he said that.
What were you working on? Absolutely nothing. Say it again.
Oh, damn, Lex.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
Willie is a lot of things, but he's not a liar, Lex. He was working on something.
Chicken.
I just might have a new motivational speech.
Do you need more examples?
He might have a new motivational speech, and we're definitely hanging a new banner. That's what he's been working on.
The head coach is really, really weird to me. That was.
All right, it's Lex.
Only Lex could say it. Q, don't say that no more, and I ain't gonna say it.
I'll leave it alone. Hold on, Lex. Listen.
I just wanted to say those things. Look, I'm expecting more, and a lot of the things I heard was, like you said, DC. A lot of the same things he's been saying. I don't hear anything different. It's it's not trending upwards. It's stagnant. Okay, which means it's not trending upward. Stagnant means you're not growing. Okay, that's just as bad as, getting worse to me. Because if you're living, any living organism, okay, grows. Okay, grass don't stay stagnant; it grows. Trees don't stay stagnant; they grow. Okay, life itself You don't say you
And,
keep getting older, right?
and you know Willie is green, so
Grow.
he gonna grow
So
too, just like them trees.
that's my thing. Nothing. When you're talking about growth, you're not staying stagnant. And I think that's the biggest thing that I have. Like, I want to see that growth. I want to hear that growth coming out of your mouth. That's what I want to hear. And I just don't hear that. He's kind of really stuck in a lot of his, the same philosophies and different things. And one of the things, it's yet to be seen if he's going to use his resources. Okay, we all have access to the internet, right? You have the internet. You have a guy like Borrego.
See too.
Wait, hold up. Willie don't use the internet, Lex?
No.
I'm using that as an example. Look, the thing is, the internet is a powerful resource, but if you don't use it, how can you really take advantage of that resource? And it's the same thing with his coaching staff. That's yet to be seen. He says he's going to use his.
He did say that, though. He spoke on
Hey, I want to see it. I really want to see you do that. And I want it to be evident, because the things that he's saying, I'm not getting that. So it's like, well, let's see some action. Let's see some action. And that's what I'm thinking.
Eric Dyson, that's him. That's who I was thinking about. Eric Dyson got caught flirting with that white lady. But he supposed to be a pro-black dude talking all the stuff he was flirting, and the lady exposed his text messages. Yeah, that was funny to me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get into some
Anyway, let's keep it moving, man. That was connected to something else that Lex had brung up about Willie Green, about his coaching, the second target, the second bullet point of your presentation. So,
oh, wow. You are so funny.
I'm just saying that's what it was.
Not that you did my presentation.
He was on that Eric Dyson type stuff. That's what it was going on.
I just want to hear it, man. You know what I'm saying? I just want to hear it, that growth. Right?
Well, you're gonna hear it, Lex, because the training camp is here. The man is he is aware of it. He said it in the presser that he's going to rely on him. He talked about how much of a blessing it was to get James Borrego back. He's very impressed with the staff that he has. He talked about getting Jody Meeks. He talked about Jody Meeks coming in there as the shooting coach. It was one of his former teammates. And like I said, this staff, unlike any, is like a Willie Green staff. A lot of these guys are guys that Willie Green is comfortable working with. There is no excuses. You got a healthy Zion Williamson coming in here in best shape. You got BI here. You got CJ, and you got a point guard that's a floor general that'll be distributing the ball. We got Jose back on a extension, so he's excited. So we got all these other guys. Trey, you heard what Trey Murphy said. He had a really good presser. Probably my favorite presser.
Yeah, I'm excited about getting to him.
Was Trey Murphy's presser. That was by far my favorite. I like how his energy was on there. And the team is a deep team. It's a very versatile team. I like what Tice said too. I like what Tice said in his interview. I love what Carlos said. Mekabic was saying as well. So anyway, what I'm saying in the long run is that the Pelicans are extremely, they're an adjustable team. They're a very, very unique team. They can play a multitude of different formations. It's all on Willie Green to be able to figure out what they need to do along with his staff, because that's the big point right there. To help him take him to the next level, he got to start to get more instruction from those guys behind him. That's what you're supposed to do if you're a good coach. Phil Jackson did it. Phil Jackson, winning them championships, he had a hell of a coaching staff with him. He just was sitting up there doing that shit by himself. He had a terrific coaching staff, and most people have to rely on their coach staff. Man did say that. And so all we could do is just see if he bears it out, if he do it or not. Because I know that it's all on him, man. I've been saying that. There is no excuse. This dude got a floor general. He got 4 20-point scores. Guys that belong where they belong, like CJ will stay off ball. BI can't be selfish because DeJounte controlling the flow. You got Zion there who has all the gravity. You got shooters here or there. It's up to him to get these guys on the floor. If he doesn't, man, he up out of here. That's what I love about it. It's like truth or dare type stuff going on, either coach or fry. That's what I'm saying.
What?
Shirts
what happened to Coach or die?
It was too hard. I had to dial back. Willie didn't like the fact that we talking about death. So I had to say coach or fry. That was something kind of.
You had to kill a chicken before you fry it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was inspired by DC because of the pineapples.
That
So
wasn't
anyway, let's move.
that wasn't inspired by me.
That was fried pineapples, DC. Let's move forward into
You the one who know how to make them. You introduced
All
the
right.
world to them.
DC, please. All right, so let's move forward and talk about what else do you guys want to talk about here? The floor is open for the last 15 or so minutes before we close the stream. What other moments of today, 2024 Pelicans Media Day that you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of talk about visit Trey Murphy, what he was talking about, because I think that's very important to point out, is the fact that Trey Murphy does want to be a starter. You know,
Yes.
just that whole thing. I don't know if you had that, but you know, if you do, that would be great to check that out.
I don't think I have, but I'm gonna see if I can get it together, Lex. Hold on, let's see. Oh, here it is, right here. You asked for it, you got it. Here we go.
For this team, the numbers. There's been a lot of advocacy for you to be a starter for this team. The numbers show that when you get minutes, the team does well. When you get shots, I think last year when you got 11 or more shots, the team was 22-8. When you got less than 11 shots, you were 13-14. Do you view yourself as a starter for this team? Do you feel that you're competing for a starting spot with this team? And if you aren't chosen as a starter based on however the groupings go, how do you play as if you are?
I mean, I absolutely think I'm a starter on Lily in the NBA, just in general. I'm a starter. And it's not up to me, but, you know, whatever happens, like, I'm going to be okay. Like, it's happened in the past where, you know, I feel like I could or should start, and, you know, I've come off the bench and I still figure out ways to contribute and help win. That's the biggest thing for me is, you know, helping my team win. And, you know, would love for that to be as, you know, starting the games, but, you know, that's not up to me.
All right, go ahead, Lex. Dig in.
Hey man, the just the way that he looks, that whole, I mean, did you see that game face? That his face was
He's ready.
stiff, man. He was like this.
He's serious. He ready.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Do it again, Lex. Show the people. She couldn't do it.
Stop it. Why did you blow it up?
Girl. I put you on the spot, girl.
Oh my gosh.
She couldn't do it.
Oh my goodness.
You want to try it again, Lex? You'll try it again.
I do that a lot. But hey man, I mean, he had that look, man. He had that look like, hey man, look, I'm a starter. And he wasn't cracking. His voice was not cracking when he said that.
Nope.
That was full-blown confidence coming out of his mouth as far as being a starter. And then the dude, the reporter, I really liked the way he asked the question, because he stated, when you're in the game, you know what I'm saying? When you're in the game, you know, the team plays better. I mean, positive things happen when he's in the game, because obviously he has that synergy and chemistry with Zion. You know what I'm saying? He spreads the floor. He knocks down those threes. And we talked all the time, DC, that he spreads the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, it's like what he brings is like it's automatic. It's automatic. So, I mean, we've been talking about it like in past streams, but I just like that look right there, man. That look right there. I mean, it's like, man, yeah. Like, I know he was saying it nice, but it's like, man, these niggas need to make me a starter. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at his breath, like, in it, like, it's almost like there was another, you know, in the back of his head. He like, man, yeah, I need to start. It's like compared, like what you said compared to what you really want to say. That's that type of look that he had. But he does deserve to be a starter, man. And the only way that we definitely want to see, we talk about Trey Murphy's potential all the time. We talk about his potential all the time. And the thing is like, he's really not getting that time that he should. I mean, obviously he gets it when somebody's hurt, but consistently, when you have a breakage in your playing time, that affects you. Shoot, ask Jordan Hawkins.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I mean,
Shooter.
it hurts your momentum. You know what I'm saying? To build something up. So I feel him. I feel him. I'm glad that question was asked. I like the way it was asked, and you can clearly see, like, hey man, I need to be a starter. What y'all doing? Where do I fit in the vision and the direction of the team? Are y'all trying to invest in me? Are you all trying to? Do you all even believe in my potential and what I can bring to this team? Do you believe in my fit? I kind of feel like a lot of those things in his facial expression, the way he answered it, I felt like that came out.
Yeah, he definitely ready, man. He spoke about the process of being here and what it was like when he first stepped in the door till now.
Yeah, he trying to get his money too.
That's right.
You know
He
what
did.
I'm saying?
He kind of touched into that too.
Like, hey, Brandon ain't the only one trying to get his stuff. Like, I'm trying to do something too.
Yeah. DC,
well, I think Trey went in there and he had his Herb shirt on and had him for defensive player of the year, Herb as baby, and he was there, and his mind was I'm gonna go in media day and I'm gonna answer the questions, I'm gonna be funny, and then he heard David Griffin talk. This David Griffin thing we didn't play in the beginning. They asked him. I actually, you know what? I want to commend the reporters that were there asking questions today, because they actually asked the questions that people would want them to ask. They didn't baby them with the questions today, and they asked David Griffin about the future of Brandon Ingram. They asked him about Trey Murphy's contract situation. And he went on a spill and he said, well, Brandon is a unique guy and we love him and he loves us and we want, there's the same bullshit he's been giving us. But he has to say that. Like, we're trying to trade Brandon Ingram. You want to make him.
But hurts is it doesn't match up with Brandon. Does he feel that way? Because he ain't showing that. For real.
But still, like, he has to say that, right? And then he went as far as to adding Trey in, and I've talked with those guys and they're locked in and we're gonna get this figured out, and everything's gonna work fine. And it was basically like alluding to Brandon Ingram's, there's a possibility Brandon Ingram is gonna stay here. And also, we're going to keep Trey here too. And, he may have to come off the bench and we're going to pay him and he's going to come off the bench. And he was alluding to that. If you can, you should find that interview. I know we pressed for time. I'm going to find that clip, But I think Trey heard that shit. And after that, he was like, yeah, I'm going to still do my Herb Jones thing, but boy, I can't wait till they ask me about this me starting question. I'm going to make this very obvious. I can't no tap dancing around this shit. I am a starter.
Yeah.
And I remember we was doing the show Friday night in Moles, and I was telling him, I'm like, look, bro, I like Brandon Ingram. I really do. If there was a world where we keep Brandon Ingram, Trey, and Zion, and DeJounte, and all this shit, make it happen, I think we would have something. But Trey Murphy does not want to be on the bench for the next 4 to 5 years. That dude want to start. And this is evidence right now. He's letting you know, man.
Yeah.
Somebody may come along and offer the same amount of money, and he'll go sign with him. We do own his bird rights. But if he don't want to be here because you ain't gonna let him start, like, are we really gonna try to sign him? Then you ain't giving nobody no 120, 130 mil for them to come off the bench. Like, the writing's on the wall. I know what David Griffin's trying to do, but I don't think anybody's buying it. And Trey definitely ain't trying to hear that shit. Like he's like, I like Brandon and all, but he gotta get the hell out the way.
Yeah.
Because we've seen when Brandon Ingram went down and they played the Warriors and it was another team late last year, man. You just seen the potency of what that could look like. And it's scary.
And we being deprived
And
of
that
it.
was with no DeJounte. You know, him, Herb, and CJ and Zion, they was cutting up.
Yeah.
Extreme synergy. You're getting up to 43 pointers and everything, high quality shots, just blowing people off the basketball court, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we've seen Trey in extended minutes. The dude hasn't been an official star in the league. He's already got 40-point games, 38-point games. Like this dude, BI career high is like 44 points. Trey already got that. Got 41 right there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're looking at the situation and you're like, man, that's why I can't get on Willie too much when he says, man, you know, all this talent we have, it still don't make it easy for me to sleep at night. Because how am I going to hold all this shit together with everything that he knows going on, which is why I told you
Griffin set him up.
Willie Green is in an impossible situation to succeed because the first moment of adversity or things aren't going what they are, like it's all going to be on him. Even if he was this better coach and do all this shit he said he's going to do, right, which I don't believe, but even if he was, if anything goes left, it's all on him. He's on the hot seat. Nobody's saying that. He's on the hot seat. He had an extension, but I'm willing to bet that extension probably was only 2 years. So if they get rid of him this year, you just eat his salary for 1 more year. Judging by how he treats Zion by not wanting to go to bat for him in the media, I don't think it's that much money. So this right here, looking at this, man, Trey is an issue with Willie because he wants to start, and you got Brandon Ingram, also an issue. So they're playing with the idea of not playing a non-traditional center. You know what I didn't hear, and we probably not gonna cover him because we ain't got too much time. And I did want to talk about DeJounte Murray. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get to that. Well, I didn't hear anybody ask a question to CJ McCullough about him being a 6-man. Why is that? They asked everybody else that tap danced around that shit. Nobody asked CJ about being a 6-man. Does Trey know that CJ may still be starting and they're going with a non-traditional center? Because if you go with a non-traditional center, I mean, without CJ out there, can Trey get into that lineup?
Yeah, see, that's
But then you
crazy.
got to bump Herb out of the lineup.
Yeah,
So
you
it's,
still got Herb. You know what I'm saying? And they asked him about, you know, what he did to celebrate, you know, his
Herb don't care about that shit.
No, but still though, that's a huge accolade. He was the only guard in that group.
He felt like he the best defender in the league. Like I said, it wasn't
Yeah.
number one, so he don't care.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, but hey, that's the start, right?
He don't care.
That's
I
that.
like
That's
it.
the
I
start.
like it.
No, I'm just saying that. So the thing is, you go from getting an accolade like that, and then you go to the bench.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's almost like this is That's why they should have acted on this stuff, man, because it's. I feel friction looking at them pictures. I feel friction and just listening to what everybody is saying, because somebody's gonna have to come off the bench. And I think Murphy, the way he was looking, man, I did my time. It's somebody else's turn. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
hey man, I've been coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? And look, I really feel like he was nice about it, but he is putting them on notice though. Low key, he's putting them on notice. Like, I feel like I'm a starter in the NBA. He didn't say for this team. He said the NBA. Meaning, how many other
Right.
teams are in the NBA?
All right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was a good point you made, DC. I mean, because you talking about, man, I can go anywhere and be a starter.
All right.
All right, let's go ahead and touch on the last topic here. Y'all mentioned CJ and talked about the question
Well, I
about
need
his.
to talk about CJ. His interview is boring as
Yeah, we
hell.
can. I like to hear
I
Dijon.
almost fell asleep on CJ interview.
Yeah, I did fall asleep on CJ.
He was the worst interview of them all, if you ask me. It wasn't really that.
He had a lot of information. It just
but
was
it ain't got
like
nothing to
it
do
was
with-
so cookie cutter and boring. Like it
He
was
was a
nothing.
politician. He was a politician, the state representative.
Just be a human for once.
No, because we got that in Griff, and he's the same thing.
That's
We don't need that.
Griff is in love with good human beings because he isn't one.
That's right.
Because it's mechanical and meaningful.
We got two clips from DeJounte Murray. He'll be the last topic about discussion tonight. Here's two clips from DeJounte Murray. The first one is he's talking about the fun part about being in the city of New Orleans. Here we go.
How smooth your transition has been to the city. What's been maybe the most fun part of your adjustment so far, whether it's been reaction to people on social media or people that you've run into in person in New Orleans? I've heard players in the past have said that one of the funny things about New Orleans is that there's like thousands of coaches here. Like people that are going to give coaching advice and stuff like that, or advice to players. Like, so what's been the most fun part about it so far?
I mean, the fun part, just, being here. Like I said, I'm thankful and grateful, for my blessings. Each and every day, I'm blessed to wake up. I give thanks to God. So, like I said, I'm thankful and grateful to be here. I'm still trying to figure out and learn everything, taking a day at a time. But me and my family, thankful and grateful. One thing I can't say, though, is the potholes, man, everywhere. It remind me of my neighborhood. I feel like I'm in the back streets of my neighborhood everywhere I go. So that's one thing I do not like.
He was throwing shade to like the government, right? The you know what I'm saying?
Well, he want him. Nah, I'm gonna tell you what's going on. He probably want him to fix some stuff where he be at, because they are doing all type of road work around the city, Lex. The Super Bowl coming here, and they are not sparing any expenses trying to fix all the potholes. I lost 2 tires at a pothole coming off the freeway, but they didn't fix it, Lex.
Them ain't potholes.
Hey,
that's a cave.
Peel your rims back like a can of tuna. They ain't playing.
Oh my gosh, those are not potholes. How did you lost 2 wheels? They just fell off and rolled down the street.
No, not that bad. I dented them and blew out some tires too at the same time. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, just remember DC's tires make pineapple skin. So I mean, that's not hard to do. Hit a tough bump like that and just.
Q, if I did have some tires made of pineapple skin, you would be the first to know, because we would be promoting that shit on the show. I would be a billionaire.
You ain't lying.
We make some tires out of pineapple skin. Let me tell you.
Let's get it.
You wouldn't even have to report that. So everybody know that's bullshit.
I bet you. So the demand for tires is very high. They jack them prices up.
We got a used tire shop on every corner, Lex.
For real?
They're charging about $70 for a used tire.
Hold on,
that's the tires that people that gave away at Goodyear and stuff.
DC, come on, brother.
No, that's the truth. We got a 24-hour used tire shop on Claiborne. It's open 24 hours.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
So people that want some blowouts because of the pothole.
Chilling. Y'all need to riot. You
got a 24-hour tire shop.
Our tires alone.
DC don't even stay in New Orleans, man. So I mean, he just, I don't know what he was doing over there.
How I know all this?
Because you was riding around.
You seem shocked. Ask anybody who be around Claiborne about the 24-hour tire shop. I bet you they tell you all about
what a 24-hour tire shop is. I'm from the city, and I'm telling you off top that they do have a lot of construction going on. They work from the ritzy areas to the rest of the areas. You know how that go. West End's getting a lot of work done. A lot of work is getting done right around the CBD, which is what I'm thinking where you were at that time. They got a lot of work going around the Dome. I know Gail just built a brand new BMW franchise right across the street from the Dome on Poitras. So they got a lot of.
It used to be Mercedes. Remember that?
Yeah, I know. She got it going
He
on.
took that logo off the dome and kicked that dealership out of there.
Straight up.
As soon as you drive the car off the lot, goodness gracious.
You better have your spare tire, Lex.
Oh my gosh! Look,
Don't- that's you got.
As soon as you turn out the exit of the car lot.
That's why Pelicans know the pineapple skin tire sold by damage control.
Man, look, you coming off easy if it's just tires. I know some people that blew out transmissions out of potholes, man.
Not DC's
They
making.
lost the motor because of potholes.
Now DC's going crazy on it. Now let's move to the next.
I'm not going crazy on it when you got trees literally growing out of the street.
I tongue coming on.
It exists, man.
Take a picture and send it to me, brother. I've never seen that before, and I'm from the city.
What you be doing?
I'm from the city.
Where you be going?
I don't know what you talking about. This dude said they got trees growing out of the streets.
You never been to the cutoff in Algiers? That's one for sure. I know where they still got it right now.
Man, what are they doing?
Don't believe
the cutoff in Algiers. They got trees. They got a few potholes. You will blow out your goddamn transmission if you roll over that shit.
Speaking about the cutoff,
They growing out the street.
Speaking about the cutoff, let's cut this off. Right to Jonte Murray. Here we go.
And I'm not going to tell guys to do something that I'm not living or standing by. So, like I said, I'm just excited.
DeJounte.
Okay. Was that it?
You about to say?
Afraid ain't even in my vocabulary. I walk out with my chest out, my head high, no matter what it is, good, bad days. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm here to help these guys, but also they're here to help me too. It's a collective thing. I don't think it's just individual. And, for myself, I think it's just going to stand out, because I'm a natural born leader. I don't bite my tongue, and I'm not going to tell guys to do something that I'm not living or standing by. So, like I said, I'm just excited.
DeJounte.
I've been telling you.
I like that part. I don't bite my tongue.
All right.
Yeah.
So Lex, we're gonna start with you and then DC. This is the last one that we got. What do you think about that?
Oh, that was beautiful. It was well said. It's what we need. Don't bite your tongue, man. Get up in somebody's face. Let them know. But everything that everybody has said about DeJounte, dominant personality, alpha leader. You know what I'm saying? Like when you listen to those words, man. I mean, that's what this team needs. And then look at that facial expression, man. Look at that.
He said a little attitude too. You seen his face?
I know. Yeah, look at that facial expression. I love that, man. That got a killer about it, don't it? Like, you know what I'm saying? We're like, man. He was like, man, say something to me. Say something. I'm gonna get with you. That's what he looked like. That's what he looked like, man. I love it. This team needs more of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't bite my tongue. You know what I'm saying? Said that with authority, man. But yeah. This team needs that. Been needing, and now we got to weed out all the other layback stuff so we can get some more of that.
Well, listen, you command. That's the thing. Him saying that is he ain't biting his tongue. He talking to Zion, he talking to Brandon, he talking to CJ.
This is great.
He's the floor general, and through him everything flows. So you having his accountability there because he ain't here to play no games. He here to win. Yeah. He was under Pop. The dude's smart. That's what I was saying. Having him here, he's a high IQ basketball player with toughness. He ain't gonna let nobody bully him around. He's a balanced guard that can play defense, and he has a good offensive component to his game. And like I said, man, this dude bringing a lot of great attributes to the Pelicans, and that should help everybody, including coach and everybody. We'll get on the same page. DC, what do you think about that, brother?
I mean, I think it's awesome, man. We got a lot of turmoil and different things. We talk about this team, a lot of things up in there, but I think this dynamic that he brings, man, we ain't even got to his play yet. Just his personality, the way he fits the city, he's embracing the city. He seems right at home, and it's been like that since day one, man. He is kind of a representation of what we're looking for when you're talking about the team embodying the energy or the spirit of the city. Then we got a guy like DeJounte. He is, I guess you could say Herb too, but Herb don't really talk. But Herb, they like us. You know what I'm saying? Like you can see us in them. Because those games, like, can you imagine DeJounte being on this team that Warriors game when they were trying to push us around and Draymond was doing all of that stuff? How do you think that would have went with DeJounte out there? I'm not saying he single-handedly changed everything, right? But it definitely would have went a lot different. Us being punked and pushed around. I mean, this dude ain't about to just go out there and like steal off on people, start biting people kneecaps and nothing crazy like that. But just the aura and the energy and the confidence that he has to exude throughout the team, taking pride in, standing up. Because sometimes we had these moments where we just, like too laid back, like Lex always talks about, which inspired her to make that beautiful song, To Play With an Edge. He's the embodiment of playing with an edge. That's how this dude always plays. That's how he always is. He speaks his mind. I ain't heard him say nothing phony yet. Straight shooter, tell you like it is, while also being professional, man. I mean, he's done everything right for as what you would do or how you would move coming to this city and to this team. And this interview, just another example of that. And he constantly talks about when they ask him about scoring and hitting 4-quarter shots, man, he talking about getting his teammates involved. He talking about everybody sacrificing. If we all sacrifice, we can do something really special. But we all got to be on board and have the same mind frame. Like, man, he bringing those Spurs talking points. You know what I'm saying? Like, of actually having and being a part of a winning organization and a team. And then I told you before when we found the Brandon Ingram clip, man, this guy has set up under Greg Popovich, Nate McMillan, and Quinn Snyder, all perennial winning coaches. Who, when you look at them, they don't really look like pushovers. Neither one, no, none of you. You always joke, Big Q, talk about Quinn Snyder, my boss.
He don't play, bro.
Right. You know,
he always got up in the stars' faces all the time. So I mean, that's why I say all the time, man, we want that Spurs DeJounte. You know what I'm saying?
Don't say that,
I mean,
Lex.
no, for real. Man, I mean, we got to put that to the side. Man, this organization need help. You know what I'm saying? For real.
And I think you're gonna get it, Lex.
Yeah, like, I mean, we need that. It's not, don't think of it so much as that, because you know what? I mean, look at what they done. Look at what Pop's done. You know what I'm saying? We can't deny that. You know what I'm saying? I know Tasha up in here. My thing is like, look, hey, the Pelicans got
Why is it always still funny?
You see what I'm saying? The Pelicans got to get there, right? Like, that's something that Pelicans fans have not tasted. As far as really embracing those winning habits, that winning attitude, that killer. You know what I'm saying? That violence, that it factor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this team needs that. And I mean, in order to really get there, we gotta be aware of what we don't have. And it's nice to have that, man. It really is. Now we need to show it on the court. Start getting in the playoffs every single year. And not just getting to the playoffs, but doing something, winning games, getting to the next round. You know what I'm saying? Consistently. That's something that the Pels have not done. And then obviously being able to win the championship. But first, we got to get to the playoffs and perform at a high level in the first round, go to the second round. Get to the finals. You know what I'm saying? We want to taste that stuff, right?
Absolutely, we got to get there, man. That's the bottom line. I think Zion is definitely on your sentiment, Lex. That's what he's super.
Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Stop
awesome.
being nice about this stuff, man. I mean, you gotta want it. You gotta want it. You gotta want it. You gotta have a chip on your shoulder every single game. The disrespect from mainstream media has been there. I don't know how long, man.
It's been there for a long time, and the Pelicans had really a kind of a melancholy approach to it. But you got DeJounte Murray, a fighter like that, and Zion Williamson amped up. I expect to see some change there, man. Some change, man. We this is it, man. This is it. For many ways, man, it's a finality to what's going to happen this year. We know whatever happens with Brandon Ingram, we have him now. We have all these other guys, regardless of what the look is. If they're putting Herb off the bench or Trey's coming off the bench, this Jose's off the bench, man, that's a deep bench. It's up to the coach to get this. There's no way around this. It's either coach or fry pineapples. So anyway, shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all. Before we leave, we're gonna do
like Coach or die.
You know, like Coach or fry?
Because I like fried chicken.
I said pineapples.
Okay. What? You said, huh?
Pineapples.
In fry.
Fry. Coach or fry. Pineapples.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, we're gonna get ready to go.
Okay, what? Hey, DC. Tasha said that she loves your video.
DC,
that ain't me. That's some type of transgender lesbian or something.
Now I this day my brain, this a name my back, I not to tell us. Now I this day my brain, this a name my back, I not to tell us. Remember way back when I used to have a friend.
See, we want to hear that Bob Marley. Come on, man. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
What do you see? What do you see? DC going on. Shout out to DC, man. That's my dog, man. DC, appreciate that, brother. You the man, brother. Thank you so much. Anyway, we appreciate y'all for
oh my god
today. Shout out to my dog DC, man. He got a new album coming out. You know, I is vegetarian or eat fruits all.
I ain't no goddamn vegetarian.
That's DC, the new album coming out.
I'm waiting on all this to blow over for you so you can start making music again too. But I know what the Diddy allegations out there, you got to keep it quiet for now.
First and foremost, brother, that's very insulting. Okay, all right.
Hey, Tasha had her light on too.
You got to keep it quiet right now, man. For all the them Diddy allegations, bro. You got to keep that on tuck, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
You got the water running in the back. Hater.
Oh. Hey.
Shout out to DC. What weirdness is this, DC?
Oh goodness.
What kind of weirdness?
That's the face you make every time you put on suntan lotion.
Suntan lotion.
Them lips looking juicy. What's going on? Is that the light source?
What is going on in this picture?
This was cute the day after the Diddy party, y'all.
Look, do you got some Vaseline or some oil?
Them some weird dudes, man. What's wrong with these guys, man?
Where's that sunlight? Why you choose this picture, DC?
What happened?
He keeps those in his phone for whatever reason. He popped that one out.
I mean, that's what I think when I hear this song. You know what I'm saying? This will pop up into my head. Just reminds me of Q.
No, it
No, I know. I'm
He
just
got,
saying,
I mean, he got sunshine on a cloudy day. You know what I'm saying? That's what he look like when he put suntan lotion on. You know.
all I'm asking is that the light source or is that a lot of oil or Vaseline?
I don't know what's going
It's
on.
it's suntan lotion, and then he don't think that the suntan lotion is enough, so he puts a layer of Vaseline over the suntan lotion to preserve it.
DC.
Anytime he about to go swimming, you know, and you got the water, you know, kind of beating up off of the Vaseline, so it look a little weird.
That guy don't look nothing like me, brother. Won't you knock that
I
off?
think he got some of the Vaseline in his eyes. That's why his eyes look like that.
Distant cousins, maybe distant cousins.
Now that ain't no that's him.
First and second, y'all put it in the chat.
This was about 8 years ago. This was, you know, he got a little more mileage on him. He got to cut the beard off, and you can really see it. You know, this is what he really look like with the
This is
beard
my
off.
first and second cousins.
Second cousin now. No, fourth, fifth.
Oh,
Removed
dang.
from the
Tasha said
family.
it.
She's
Didn't I
oh my
find
God.
out you were at a Diddy party?
I gotta let the world know, Tasha. You know it ain't. You know.
That ain't
I don't
my
know. He. We don't know. We don't know.
All right, so we're gonna get ready to leave on that. We thank DC for his musical interlude. Thank you, DC. Appreciate you, brother, as always, for bringing a very light comedy to this.
Long distance
They
cousin.
appreciate
And
that.
we thank you for your meme face, man. You know,
That's a
adds a
meme.
lot of enjoyment to the show, man. You know.
That's a mean face, bro.
Y'all feel free to use this and promote it as Big Q all over.
You all fighting over to put what to put on is crazy.
That's
Y'all need
DC
to
doing
stop.
that, man.
Gonna
That's
break
DC
something.
goof ass doing
That's
that.
gonna break something, man.
That's DC goof ass
Man, go
doing
ahead and end the show, man. He took the whole thing off.
All right, we're gonna get on out of here. Hope y'all had a good time. Appreciate y'all for chiming in on the stream, man. Much love to the fam, man. Listen, we're gonna holler at you on the next one. Much love. Go Pels.
Show us the edge. The chip on the shoulders, the fight and the passion that comes from within. Trying to win on every level. Yeah. Expectations high. Gotta show them you can fly. Play harder, better, smarter. Baby, put the league on notice. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Show me the edge. Yeah, yeah. Whoa, done seen the walk of shame enough. Wanna see the walk of winning, time to come up and bring out the outlaws. Don't every play, every possession. How bad you want it, love, you want it all. This ain't a blood of love, built for something greater. Tackling all obstacles, coming for the ring, my precious. You got the juice, the will, the heart, the fire. Show 'em the proof, show 'em that it shall be done. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network. For all things Pelicans.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies,